Hey, what's up? Hello. Welcome to the Larry Bird episode of Hack a Chat, the NBA's first podcast with a man who booed Jungle Jack Hanna at a baseball game. That's me. I'm Chuck P. And with me, as always, is teenagers who turn into different kinds of beasts. That's Danimorphs. Dan, what are we going to do?
We're here to talk some hoops and tell you what happened to former Golden State Warrior Latrell Sprewell.
Behind the MacBook, we have the supervisor of our Switch, Gyro.
It's nice to be here.
We're happy you showed up. We are glad to be here doing the final show. It's finally here. The finals.
Nice.
It only took us, like 8 days of no basketball to get back to basketball.
The powers that be in charge of all of the sports networks were probably peeing themselves over what are we going to do to fill content over these next 8 days, because this went way too quickly.
TNT was pissed because they couldn't show more trailers of that show, Claws and Animal Kingdom. And I will never watch either of those shows.
Nope, me either.
I saw it 1,000 times.
I don't think TNT was excited about the fact they weren't going to be able to do that. Plus, I'm sure the folks at ESPN were not excited about the fact they weren't going to be able to integrate more movie trailers into LeBron James likes to do this, but he's also like this movie character who can do this. they had to cut those promos out. They weren't able to do them.
Speaking of TV, this is one of the things that we've had to do the last week. What have you been watching anything lately? Because we had all this time since we've had no basketball.
You know what I got through because there was no basketball was I watched the entire series of Masters of None in a weekend.
Oh, that's incredible.
Master of None.
Master of None, yeah.
Right over the weekend. It was phenomenal. Like phenomenal. Did you get the chance to watch it?
Yes. Both Dover and I actually both watched it. Yeah. We watched episodes 9 and 10 together.
Yeah, it was great.
Nice.
We didn't mean to. We were like hanging out and like we were having dinner, and we started episode 9. It's a double episode. And then after all that, I was like, all right, well, we can't not watch the finale.
We got to finish it together.
We got to do it.
Hold hands, maybe.
It might be the best 10 episodes of TV I've ever seen.
Interesting.
I can't. I think there are seasons, like full seasons of shows that like I may or may not have liked better, but like every episode was great. Every episode.
Yes.
It was phenomenal.
The beginning. Spoiler alert. Like it's black and white to start.
Yeah.
And when he's in Italy, it's amazing.
I know.
It was just beautiful. Like I was like, this. I've actually went back and watched the first couple episodes again because I liked the first 2 that much.
Mm. Episode 6 is the New York I Love You. Gosh, that one was so good. Just how it could wrap so many new characters and make you love them each individually so quickly. It was so cool.
Absolutely.
Man, and the way it went in and out of, like, when it's focused on one character, and when it went into that character's part and went out of it, it was just so seamless. Like, Dover and I were, like, waiting. I was like, how is this going to happen? And it worked perfectly. It was so cool. I don't want to spoil anything because it's such a cool thing. It's episode 6. Everybody has to watch it.
If you haven't checked it yet on Netflix, go check it out. It's worth the 10 episodes that are new. Also, go back and watch season 1 to get the whole thing. It's definitely worth your time to go watch it.
Hack a Chat stamp of approval. Dover and I also did something else during this 10 days. We got so bored. We got a new video game console, like a whole console.
New console.
What do we get, Dover?
What did you guys get?
We got a Nintendo Switch.
Mm-hmm.
We really wanted to,
those things are super cool.
We wanted to check out Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
Yep, which is a phenomenal game.
Great game.
I can't. It's the first game in a while where I haven't been playing it, but I'm thinking about like, all right, what hours do I have free? What 20 minutes can I fit in just like doing a little bit?
He just showed up on my house today. I was just like, can I do it? Can I play?
He's like, we're recording tonight, right? I was like, yeah. So I came here now so I could play Breath of the Wild until then. He's like, it's 3:30. Like we're recording in 6 hours, and I was like, yeah, but can I play? Like, is it cool?
Well, I got a lot of show prep I have to do, and I really get focused when I play Zelda. So I'm just trying to make the show better, Jeremy. That's what I would have said.
It's awesome.
Now wait, which way is the best way to play it? Do you like pull the things off? Do you use the little tablet? Which is the best?
Dover, how do you play it?
I usually play it with the Joy-Cons connected in handheld mode.
On the screen?
Yes.
Like on the whole
all
thing?
connected
So on
in one.
the little pad thing,
Yeah.
like the little iPad, right?
Yes, essentially, yes.
Okay.
It's that
Okay,
is
cool.
actually the
tablet
console
screen-
itself. It's
the tablet
amazing.
screen with the controllers on
Yeah.
the sides of it. That's how I usually play.
I take the two little pieces and I click them into a controller and I play it on the TV. That's the way I like it the best. But
Pretty
then
cool.
we've also we took it. We went up to Lima yesterday and like we did like the screen by itself and we stood it up and we had like the two controllers separate and we were playing dumb games that way.
Yeah.
Like we were the stupid commercial with like you can take it anywhere to meetings to parties and we're like actually like we were sitting in the restaurant that we went to after our meeting. We're like we can go get it now and just play this. No, all right. No, that'd be stupid. That'd be
Let's
dumb.
not do that.
Should we though? I think we should.
We can't. We have the option.
See, this is what happens when we're given this much time without basketball,
Yeah,
and the summer's
I know.
going to kill us again. It always does. But what are you going
It
to do?
does. But hey, we're almost here, right?
Yeah.
We're the Christmas Eve before Christmas. You know,
Yes.
we're almost there. We're finals Eve.
We are. I think it's. I think we're ready. Let's talk some ball. You ready, Dan?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Here we go.
Before we get to the finals, we have to wrap up round 3.
But do we?
Yes. I mean, I guess we do, right? I mean, we asked every time we do a round, we ask 8 questions, and you know because it was the 3rd round, there's only 2 series going on, so we had 4 questions per round, and they all ended with pretty easy answers.
Yeah, it was quick.
Let's just whip them off. Dan, will Kawhi Leonard stay on the court?
No.
Nope.
3 quarters. He's
Nope.
out.
They
Doesn't
kept
play
it was
the rest of the series.
it
So
was
the answer to that question was a big fat no.
yeah, it was headline news every time that we found out that Kawhi wasn't going to be playing, and that stinks. What are you going to do? Dan, who's going to get hot?
Nobody for the Spurs.
Nobody.
Because it won't matter. Because they're out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, LaMarcus Aldridge, step up? Nope, not quite. Sorry. Not going to happen.
No weird Danny Green game. Nothing.
Nope. None of that.
Didn't work out.
Doesn't matter.
Dan, what was the Spurs' defensive plan?
Just try not to get eaten by great white sharks on the floor because that could have happened in this game because anything could have happened in this series.
Right.
Defensive game plan didn't matter. Didn't matter. It just didn't matter.
Didn't matter because
There was
the best
could do.
wing defender we've ever seen wasn't playing.
Yeah. Not a lot you could do.
And
a lot.
Final question. Let's wrap this up real quick. Will Mike Brown pee his pants versus Pops?
He could have. For all we know, he could have.
He might have.
But you know what?
Yeah.
He might have, for all we know.
Yep.
I mean, there were no reports from Ramona Shelburne saying that Mike Brown peed his pants on the sideline. He could have just to kind of joke around, like the Billy Madison, or like in Billy Madison, where he's like, it's cool, right? So it's cool.
to pee your pants, yeah. Well, Dover,
Yeah,
you saw
didn't
the
matter.
story with Mike Brown trying to get into the arena.
Oh yeah,
and
that's what I
couldn't.
was about to say.
Yeah, tell it.
Pop just blocked his way into the arena, so I think it got to him a little bit.
Yeah, it did. Like they were trying to get into the arena and they wouldn't let Mike Brown in. He's like, "I'm the coach of the Warriors," and he's like, "Okay, you don't look like Steve Kerr." And apparently, like Pop called him and is just laughing his butt off. He's like, "I saw the whole thing. You're an idiot." Like,
Yeah.
so I mean, Pop did get the upper hand.
He did. He did have that like Greg Popovich like kind of I'm the senior, you're a freshman.
Yep.
Deal with it, but it didn't matter
Mm-hmm.
because the team that had to be rolled out for the Spurs was not a team that was going to compete with this Warriors team. It just wasn't going to happen. And even had they had Kawhi, you know,
Mm-hmm.
maybe they do take that game 1 when you're up 23 in the 3rd quarter and
Oh,
you
yeah.
finish it out. But I still think the Warriors, because what we found so far in these last couple years of doing this is game 1s are kind of people just figuring each other out, throwing those little jabs, really not going for haymakers just yet.
Mm-hmm.
And even if the Spurs take that game, I think the Warriors adjust and they end up winning at 5. I really
Mm-hmm.
think they take the next ones and do it no problem. So I had predicted Warriors in 4.
Yep.
Warriors in 4.
I had Warriors in 6. I had the hopes that Kawhi Leonard would get back out there and help him get 1 or 2, but it didn't work out. I think the real winner in this series was actually Doris Burke. If you watched her interviews
Yes.
with Pop, she got to pull the hey, it's Mother's Day. I'm only going to ask one question. And he like pulled a wall over on Pop. And then the next
really
game,
good.
like it was just still not, it wasn't going horribly. It's just one question and Pop gave the, we're going bad. It's not going, everything's terrible. And Doris Burke is like, you know what? I'm out. All right. See it. Thanks, Pop. Have a good one. And just walked away.
Well, because I mean, it was great for Doris Burke, and I thought it was really funny. But like, in all honesty, like, what's he gonna answer? Like,
Right.
Yeah, look, I don't have a top 5 guy at the 4 positions, point guard through power forward, like they have. So,
Right.
What do you want me to do? Like, what do you want me to tell you, United States of America, while you're watching this game? There's nothing we can do. Like, there's nothing that I can do schematically that's going to be able to knock out these 3 future Hall of Famers, 1 borderline Hall of Famer, and then this other guy who just kind of does his thing on the floor. Like, there's nothing I can do. Like, I'm great, but I'm not doing anything here.
Right. Yeah. And even if you're Doris Burke, you're walking up to that conversation being like, we are obligated to speak to one another. He is not going to be happy. I know he's not going to be happy. I'm going to end it as soon as possible. All right. I had to say this thing. Okay. Obligation over. Contract fulfilled. Let's get out of here. Makes sense.
See you later, everybody. Yeah, it did.
Let's flip over to.
It was quick.
Oh, go ahead. Did you have something?
No,
else?
it was. I mean, it was quick.
Yeah.
Those interviews were a microcosm, or made sense based on how that series went.
Yep, that one went down in 4. Cavs Celtics took a little bit longer, 5. And we have a couple questions here. Again, they just answered themselves. I'm going to start with the last question, which was, how will the Cavs slow down Isaiah Thomas? It turns out he was going to slow himself down. Well, he wasn't. His hips were going to slow him down. So they didn't even have to worry about it. It wasn't a question for them.
Right, and that was the thing that we had talked about, and the reason why I gave the Celtics 2 wins was you were going to get a game from Isaiah where he was going to do the thing where he gets 45 to 50 points. He's just going to shoot it enough to where it's going to happen. And we didn't get it. From what we've heard, he was playing with that through that Wizards series, and it's a pretty serious hip injury. It may hinder his ability to gain that huge contract a year from now. But I just hope he's back playing, because when he's right, man, what he was doing in that Wizards series was super fun. And I think it would have made this series a little more entertaining,
right?
Had he been able to play.
Another question we had, what are the Celtics going to do if JR gets hot? Well, he was all right. I mean, he shot a little over 40% from 3, but it really didn't matter because JR was not the only one who was hot. I mean, everyone was draining threes.
Well, you had Kyrie go off in the third quarter of, was that game 4? And it's like, what are the Celtics going to do if JR gets hot? Well, what are they going to do if Kyrie gets hot? Well, they're going to throw Avery Bradley at him because he's one of the best wing defenders we have on point guards in the league, and he couldn't do anything. And when he's got it going, it's phenomenal to watch. There aren't many guys that can do what he does when he has it rolling like that. I mean, the shots that he makes with the English he puts on the ball around the basket, the angles he uses to get around people, the one he made to get the and one in that third quarter where he was almost laying parallel to the ground.
Right.
And shot it with such spin that it got off the backboard and got fouled. And he goes for, was it 42 in that game, and breaks his playoff career high, going over what he had in the finals last year. I mean, that third quarter, you couldn't take your eyes off him. And that's the guy that, that's the Uncle Drew that we think of every time he gets onto the floor. Like, he's going to just put the ball on a string and do whatever he wants and make just ridiculous shots. And there's nothing you can do to stop it.
Yeah. Kyrie's phenomenal. Honestly, like, we'll see how this series plays out in the finals, but I think he's competing for like best point guard in the league.
And I think he believes he is.
Oh yeah, and when you have LeBron there to do so, it instantly makes you like 4 spots higher on that ranking. It just, the way LeBron works, the way LeBron makes other people better, like he just raises Kyrie to just another level that's amazing. We asked, will a member of the Big Three break down? They did not.
Thank goodness, because we're now healthy going into the finals, which,
oh my gosh, it's amazing. Well, even everybody knows I'm a Warriors fan. This isn't a big surprise. There were 2 instances. There was one where LeBron had a little bit of the hammy. He tweaked the ham, and I held my breath. There was one where Kyrie in that game 4 had the ankle go, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is his Isaiah Thomas game. He's going to go off in this quarter because he twisted his ankle, but then he's going to be done the next game. That happened to Isaiah and it was in 88 or whatever. And I was like, this can't be happening, because even I, as a Warriors fan, as much as I want them to win a championship, I would rather see the full rosters actually play each other than I would just we got it because they were missing 2 guys. I want to see these full squads go head to head. And so I was in the bar, I was like, oh, no. Somebody's like, what are you worried about? You're a Warriors fan. I was like, no, but it's LeBron. Come on.
Want to see play.
We need to have LeBron.
I think I told this to you. I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious. And I got to call out Bill Simmons here. I know he doesn't listen to our pod, nor will he ever. But
you don't know
he's
that.
Always on. That's true. He might. He listens to everything. But he's always on his talking about, oh, LeBron's so durable. He's never been injured. It's dude.
Shut up.
The free throw. He's like, this guy's 9 for 9 from the free throw line with 5 seconds left, and if he misses this one, they lose. They know what they're doing, and Bill Simmons knows exactly what he's doing. And for a guy who's not superstitious but a little stitious, we just stop with the LeBron has just never been hurt and he's Superman, because the way I see it, that's the same thing as an announcer with a guy at a free throw line or a field goal kicker at the end of a football game.
It's like, oh, we haven't seen a hit yet in 6 innings. All right, there's a hit. Okay, never mind. Sorry, guys.
Right?
Whoops.
You're welcome, everyone. Yes.
Yeah, let's avoid that at all costs. We were looking to see if the Cavs were going to just push and push and push to try and keep that perfect record. They dropped one because the Marcus Smart game.
They put it on cruise control. Yeah, Marcus Smart goes 7 of 10 from 3 for the first time in his life. He doesn't even do that in practice, from what I hear.
Let's do a little recap of the Celtics playoffs. You had Isaiah Thomas going off his 50-point game, absolutely incredible, and he's an all-star. He's been playing at a high level all season, and you also had a Marcus Smart game and a Kelly Olynyk game.
And
one of them was in Game 7. This is incredible that the Celtics are doing this with this group of people. And then they have the number 1 overall pick. I don't want to get to the stuff that's going to happen in the offseason. They have an embarrassment of riches right now, and that's awesome.
They do.
And they have a lot of great young guys, and man, we'll get to their draft stuff later. But look, the Celtics, you took one against this Cavs team. You should be proud of that. And we're here. We hit the finals that everybody anticipated.
That's right.
I mean,
we're here. We've done.
Oh yeah. At the beginning of the season, I don't think that there was any question that this was going to be the outcome, right? We were going to get Warriors Cavs.
We both had this in our preseason pick as the teams that were going to play in the finals.
Yep.
So we both had that right. So hats off to you, my friend.
Yeah, look at us.
But I think pretty much anybody that watches the league knew that this is what was going to happen, right? There was no debate. There was really no team that was going to stand in the way of either of these teams getting back to another rematch, especially when the Warriors added Durant. There was no question they were going to be back. The only thing we had was if the Cavaliers are like, hey, we won, we're good, let's just kind of cruise through the year. But we had the matchup we had both anticipated.
Well, and I liken it to back in Tiger Woods' heyday, which we are on the complete opposite end of right now. But when he was in his heyday, we would hit a major and people would question, the question would be Tiger or the field. And it was a bold call to take the field. And if anyone picked other than the Warriors and Cavs, that was a bold call, which is crazy because you have 28 other options. And people went, well, all right, realistically, you have 7 other options. But it's a bold call to take anybody else other than these 2 teams. And so when we get what was expected, it's not a surprise. I'm still excited though. I'm still thrilled that we're here. I'm still
Me too.
Just blown away that we've made it this far. And I'm ready to talk about the finals. Are we going to get into this?
I think we should, but is there a PSA that we have before we really jump into talking? So I think the PSA goes to you, my friend.
Yes.
It's a public service announcement for those who don't know what PSA stands for.
Yeah, but not the one that Jay-Z did. That's a different public service announcement.
Completely different one.
All right, so this is a call to everyone who will be on Twitter or Facebook or what have you, wherever you are voicing your opinions, you don't need to comment on everything. If you see Warriors and you're like, I'm a Cavs fan, blah, you don't need to do that. If you're a Warriors fan and you see somebody even just say Cavs and you go, oh, Steph Curry's amazing and Kevin Durant's on our team. No, you're being ridiculous. Knock it off.
Don't need it.
If you have something relevant to add to the conversation, if you were invited into the conversation, that's totally cool. But if somebody says, wow, I love that win that the Cavs put up. Great job, guys. Let's get 3 more. You don't need to be like, well, the refs were terrible, and if Kevin Durant just hits 2 more threes and then Draymond doesn't get shoved in the back, like he got murdered. Somebody stabbed him in the back. Like
Steve Kerr's just coaching his team like we thought because he's not going to because of back surgeries, and Mike Brown's the one coaching now. Like, let's just cool it, guys. Let's just enjoy this. Let's watch it.
Yeah, first off, let's not jump into conversations that we're not invited to. That not every post that is made is the beginning of a conversation. For example, I made a comparison just like, oh, wow, another team going undefeated in the finals. And I was making a comparison that the last time that happened, Tyronn Lue was also there. And that's when he got the Allen Iverson stomp. And like I made that. I was like, look, these things happen. And immediately someone went, oh, well, if you were playing the Spurs D-League team, I mean, you got Kevin Durant. That's not even fair. Your bench is ridiculous. You have no depth. Everything's blah. And I was like, I mentioned undefeated and Tyronn Lue, and somebody just went off on me. I was like, please stop. Nobody wants it. It makes you angry. It makes me angry. We don't need to be angry. Everybody, we're all in the same basketball family. We all love good basketball. So let's all enjoy it together. Now, if the ball doesn't bounce the way your team wants it to, it's okay. You don't have to have that conversation on somebody else's stuff. Put it on your own social media. That's fine. Don't
put it on a Warriors message board. Put it in a Cavs message board. Like, let's celebrate with each other. No need for the back and forth.
Write a letter to Adam Silver, or like actually write it out, and then you'll see how crazy you are once you've seen it. And you're like, oh, I'm writing to Adam Silver. He's never going to get this. Also, there are a lot of swear words in here, and then you know how crazy you're being. It's okay.
Right.
Things are going to be okay. We're going to have fun. Doesn't matter who wins. It's just a game.
Yes.
All right. Cool. Awesome.
Yes. That being said,
this is going to be 7 of the greatest games we've ever seen. I really hope not, but let's do it.
Yes,
we have hit the trilogy. This is the trilogy, if you want to call it that. We've hit 3 times in a row. The same franchises have played each other. Kinda.
That's the key point. You said the key point, which is these franchises.
Not teams.
Have played each other. Not teams. These franchises.
First off, David Blatt's not around. Let's talk about
David Blatt no longer around. Matthew Dellavedova not here, which is kind of a bummer.
Oh, it really is.
He has his own signature shoe now. Did you know Matthew Dellavedova has a signature shoe? We're living in a world where Matthew Dellavedova has a signature shoe and he's not playing in the NBA Finals. That's a problem. but he's not here.
Who is his sponsor? I don't even know. Who?
I don't know.
I'm going to look.
Varejao played for both teams, not here this time. It's not the same thing. So where my issue lies right now is this is the grudge match or the rubber match or the best 2 out of 3 match. And I really don't think it is. And this is what I liken it to. Playing the game rock, paper, scissors, right? We're all familiar with the rock, the paper, and the scissors.
Got it.
I'll liken this series to a game of rock, paper, scissors. Mm-hmm. So, year 1. You have basically LeBron verse. So you have the Cleveland Cavaliers as the rock with LeBron James and essentially nobody else. Right. If you look back at the teams that LeBron has taken to the finals, it's the closest to the 2007 Cavaliers that he's had going into the NBA Finals. He had Matthew Dellavedova, Iman Shumpert, J.R. Smith, Tristan Thompson, and those were the guys that were playing significant minutes alongside him in the finals.
Timofey Mozgov and
Sean Marion. Competitive. They were competitive, which is terrifying. So you have that versus that Warriors team who finally broke through, but they had their rock, paper, and scissors. And you know what? Every single time, once you figure that out, you can just throw paper right over top, and it's series over like the first one was. Now, the second one, we finally had the matchup that we were all hoping for. We had Kevin Love, we had Kyrie Irving, both of them healthy. We had LeBron James at the all-time height, and you know what? We had an historical series. We had a 3-1 lead by the Warriors. We had a comeback from the Cavs in which Kyrie and LeBron both had incredible Game 5s. We had the Warriors go cold at the end of the series, and we had LeBron with the block and almost the dunk. I'm still going to hold on to that one tightly. But you had a fair rock, paper, scissors matchup, right? Because you both teams were guessing as to which one they were going to throw. This year, hey, exciting news. We come into this, both teams fully healthy. We have a full set of rock, paper, scissors. We're going to be able to not guess which one they throw. But then you know what? The Warriors go out and then they sign dynamite. Do you remember as a kid when you were playing rock, paper, scissors and that jerk friend that'd be like, I have dynamite? That's not a thing. You don't get dynamite. Like, wait, dynamite? And then he'd take all your pogs because he just won the rock, paper, scissors match because he threw dynamite at you. And you're like, okay, I guess. And that's what the Warriors went out and did. They went out and got Kevin Durant, and they went out and got a fourth thing in rock, paper, scissors, completely shifting the balance of the series because you have an extra thing to throw in this rubber match, which I will contend to the end of this is not a true rubber match because when you go out and add a 7-footer who's a shooting guard, who's arguably the best scorer in the history of the league, I just don't think it's worth calling it the third match of the last three. Now, I like that you said it was these three franchises, not the rubber match. Yeah. Because I think we've only had one true matchup of these two teams at their height.
Well, I agree with you completely. I mean, that's exactly what's happened. And some of the other players have fallen out. We got the Matthew Dellavedova. Who signed him? Who has his shoe contract?
Milwaukee Bucks. Oh, it's
no. No, I knew that.
Milwaukee Bucks. Peak. That's.
I'm pretty sure it's an Australian company.
It's China.
It's Chinese.
Chinese based.
So it's him and Dwayne Wade.
They're called the Peak Deli Ones, and their nickname is Hustle.
The Peak Deli Ones. Can you please get a picture of that and put it on the screen? Is there a way you can do that? Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing.
The Peak Deli Ones. We're living in a world where Matthew Dellavedova has a signature shoe.
Yeah, it's incredible. I can't say that whatever the last two matchups have meant anything more than it has to the big three players. I mean, obviously, Steph, Draymond, Clay, who have been there all 3 years. LeBron, Kyrie, who played in the first finals but got knocked out after game one. Those guys are the players that we've seen over and over again, and those are the ones that this series really means the most to. We're having all these other guys thrown in, which has been crazy, and it really puts this finals in kind of a league of its own. It really makes it hard to figure out what's going to go on. I think you have a really good way of explaining some of these teams of how we're supposed to look at this.
So I recently, with all this time in between and the new season of Game of Thrones starting this summer, I decided, let me start this thing from the beginning again to get completely caught up for the new season start. So there are some spoilers, but this finals to me basically goes into the first season of Game of Thrones. And I'm just going to compare some of the characters from Game of Thrones to some of the players in this year's finals.
Okay.
And you're probably going to get mad at some of these for those of you who like this series, Game of Thrones. But the first one, Steph Curry, to me, is the Prince Joffrey of the NBA, who then turns into King Joffrey. Again, spoiler alert, if you have not watched the first season of Game of Thrones, I'm going to say some things about the first season. I know, Charlie, you're looking
I haven't, but I don't. Look, that stuff goes way over my head. I'm listening and I'm taking it in, but that's I haven't seen Lord of the Rings. The names are too confusing. I can't spell them or pronounce them or remember them.
So then we'll just go ahead and jump down to the next one. You have Kevin Durant as Queen Cersei. Makes sense. She kind of is the puppet master for everybody in the entire thing. Kevin Durant, arguably the best player in the series next to LeBron James. You have Draymond Green as the Hound. The Hound's sole job is to protect Prince and King Joffrey. That's all he does. Draymond Green's job is to rattle the cages, push people around, and make sure no one messes with Steph. Jamie Lannister, super handsome, great swordsman. Klay Thompson, really handsome, bombs it from 3.
Yep.
And then finally, you have Steve Kerr as Tyrion Lannister, who kind of behind the scenes is really running the whole show. That, you know what, Steve Kerr is a smaller guy, Tyrion's a smaller guy.
I would say, which one of them
Kerr.
is what's his name? Peter Dinklage. Is that Tyrion?
That's Tyrion Lannister, and that's Steve Kerr.
Got it.
So kind of like behind the scenes, doing everything, running the show. Steve Kerr is not going to be on the court coaching, but behind the scenes is really doing everything. And then on the flip side, on the Cavaliers, you have Ned Stark. Now, again, in season 1, Ned Stark, spoiler alert, finds out that Prince Joffrey is not the proper heir to the throne.
Oh my goodness.
So, Ned Stark, LeBron James, during that series last year, he kind of reveals to everybody, hey, Steph, you're really not the king, and kind of proved a point last year that, hey, LeBron, I'm the real deal. And kind of just push that whole theory to the side. But you know what happens? Spoiler alert. At the end of season 1, Ned Stark beheaded, and it's over for him. And I have a feeling that might happen to the Cleveland Cavaliers.
You think this might be the end of the king, the end of his reign?
It
King
might
James.
be. Now, it's not a complete comparison because Ned Stark was never a king.
No, it's okay.
But the idea that he's beheaded and kind of cast out, I think may be something that happens in this NBA Finals.
All right. Wow.
And then the Lannister dynasty continues through Prince and King Joffrey always taking over. Now, there's more happens in the show, but that's how kind of season 1 ends and season 2 starts. So, it just makes me a little nervous that the Lannisters are now the leaders of the NBA, and I don't love it. I do not love it. And now, when you watch the show, you have this to fall back on.
Right. Now I have to think of Steve Kerr as Peter Dinklage. Like, that's just going to be a weird thought for me. But I understand, I guess. Like, if that's how the finale, whatever, if that's how the analogy works, I trust you. Like, that stuff goes way over my head. But the whole backstabbing and who finds what and how this is all going to end, that you seem to have the direction that you think the Cavs are going to go, which is not great. Here's the thing. I kind of disagree, but we'll get there. We'll get there. We have some steps till we get there. We always ask a bunch of questions about every single series. Some of them we have answers to. Some of them we have guesses to. Some of them we have no clue what's going to happen at all. So let's get to our questions for this series, see what we can figure out. The first question being, will we see Steve Kerr? It's already confirmed he's not going to be there for game 1.
Right.
This is huge. I mean, it was one thing when he missed the first 30 some odd games of the regular season, but missing the NBA Finals. I mean, first off, all the prayers and good wishes to Steve Kerr. If this is what's going on, it's gotta be bad. If he literally cannot sit on the bench or be active in a coaching situation, like, it's gotta be bad. Do you think we're gonna see Steve Kerr?
I don't know. So I now work for a physical therapy company, and I work and spend a lot of time with my doctor. Spend a lot of time with orthopedic surgeons, spinal surgeons, guys who deal with this kind of stuff every day. And all of the guys that I deal with are constantly talking about how difficult the back is and how they try just about every approach that they can have to avoid any type of surgery with the lower back. I mean, Steve Kerr himself on the Bill Simmons podcast earlier this year talked about, hey, anybody that's considering a back surgery, try any other means necessary before you try a surgery on the back.
Right.
I would anticipate we'll probably see him, right? I mean, he's been out for a couple weeks now. He missed his time at the beginning of last year. I would anticipate we'll see him. But at the same time, if the Warriors get it going and say they go to, Golden State and they win the first 2, why rock the boat? Hey, let's see how this thing goes. Unless you need me to show up, I'm going to kind of just do what I've been doing over the last couple weeks. So I don't know. I think if the Warriors do what I think they're going to do, I don't think we'll see Steve Kerr on the sideline because I think it's going to be quick. But I think if things start to get a little rocky and need kind of a someone who can right the ship and kind of get things going in the right direction, I think we'll see him. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think we'll see him?
I don't think we'll see him, unfortunately, which begs the next question. Will Mike Brown hinder the Warriors' chances? I think that Mike Brown is a decent coach. I think LeBron James might be a better coach. Which, Tyronn Lue, whatever. LeBron James is the head coach of that team. And so and LeBron was coached by Mike Brown. LeBron knows Mike Brown pretty well. Mike Brown knows LeBron pretty well. So that adds another twist to this. I don't trust Mike Brown. If I were the Warriors, I'd be a little worried about it.
If it were anybody else, I would agree with you. Mm-hmm. Say it was, say somehow Boston had won. I would say, I don't know. They're so right. Warriors have so much talent, but I don't know. I think you have a little bit of, hey, this team's fired me twice. I want to prove a point to this franchise that they really messed up, and I ended up in a spot that is significantly better than anything that I had there. And I kind of want to prove a point to LeBron James, who who will always say in the public that he has nothing to do with coaches coming or going. Mm-hmm. But we all know who runs the show in Cleveland when he's in Cleveland.
Yeah.
So I
think
don't think Brown hinders the chances. No, to answer the question.
I mean, it's a well-oiled machine. There's really, just fine-tuning to it. That could be the difference in this series. mean, you got to split hairs at this point.
I know they don't exist yet, but the Warriors are the self-driving car of the NBA. Like you just got to get it and press a button, and it's going to take you where you're supposed to go, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Mike Brown can press the button. I think the Warriors are okay.
Yeah, you might be right. We'll see. Again, when you're these two teams, they're phenomenal. These are two amazing teams, which is weird because one of them only won 52 games. It's strange to think about, right? Like the Cavs are not a number one seed,
right?
Like they care, but still.
We talked a little about this. I think there was some gamesmanship with that. I think the Cavs, when it got down the stretch, said, "Hey, let's put the pressure on the Celtics for being the one seed.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need it. I'm okay going. LeBron is okay going to Boston if it comes down to it for a Game 7.
Yeah,
he's won there. Hey, let's put the pressure on them. We saw. They went down 0-2 in the first round of the playoffs. So I think there was some gamesmanship by the Cavs there. But you're right. They didn't have the regular season that the Warriors had. They weren't the number one seed. So there might be something there.
I agree. I'm going to jump down to a fun question that I really like putting together.
Yeah.
The question is, who will earn a Gary Neal contract? If you're not familiar with Gary Neal, he played for the San Antonio Spurs for 3 years in 2010-11, 11-12, and 12-13. In that 12-13 finals, he played really, really well. He really well. It wasn't like he took over the game. He's a role player who's going to be a UFA, and after the series was over, he earned himself a year contract. He got it from, at that time was the Bobcats, the Hornets. It was like 2 years, $4 million. And then he actually had a player option on that. I don't know how he got a player option. Like, it's amazing. But he turned his chance as a role player in the finals into a multiple year contract. And I want to know, what role player are we looking at from either squad who might earn themselves a bigger contract? Now, there are some obvious free agents that I'm nixing. Like for the Warriors, it's obviously not going to be Steph Curry. He's not a role player. And Andre Iguodala plays a very important role, and he's going to be pulled back in. And I'm eliminating Sean Livingston just because I think Sean Livingston's a guy that the Warriors are going to keep around. So the question is, amongst these players, who do you think is going to play well enough to earn themselves a better contract next year? Here are your options. Zaza Pachulia, JaVale McGee, David West, Ian Clark. If we go over to the Cavs, DeAndre Liggins, Derek Williams, Darren Williams, or Kyle Korver. My guess, if I had to pull from the Warriors, I would go Ian Clark. I like Ian Clark. I think that he's a guy who can drop a few from the corner. He can get open, which means he can get hot. That's kind of what the Warriors do. They have 3 guys that pull the entire defense towards them, and it leaves Ian Clark open. And he's put him down this playoff so far. He's played well for the roles that he's had. I mean, that may easily, especially in today's NBA, get him 3 years, $20 million if he can nail 9 really important 3-pointers, something like that.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go a different route. I'm going to stay on the same team. I'm going to stay with the Warriors.
Okay.
But I'm going to go with JaVale. I'm going to go with JaVale McGee. Here's why.
Okay.
Guys in the NBA can't quit the super big athletic guy, right? They just cannot quit that guy.
Right.
So some team who is going to be completely just gotten rid of any big in their franchise is going to say, you know what? I saw that guy play in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
I saw him go vertical on the run. I saw him play some pick and roll. Why not? Let's give him $10 million a year. Sure. Because that's what people just throw around these days is let's give him 3 for 10. Let's give him 30. You know, why not? Let's bring him in and see what he can do. Somebody like, I don't know, the Brooklyn Nets who have no choice to do anything. So like, whatever. He might get some dunks. People in Brooklyn might like that. Sure. I could see JaVale McGee being that irrational contract based on the verticality and ability to cover pick and roll.
Well,
and maybe a couple dunks here and there.
Yeah, and with JaVale, like it's okay. He's probably at the same or near the same kind of skill level, or you know, the ability to actually get that great performance in, probably at the same level as many of those other guys. But his name is way more meaningful than DeAndre Liggins, than Zaza Pachulia, than Ian Clark. Like, people know JaVale McGee. It is from the Shaqtin' a Fool and all the other goofy things off the court or weird on the court stuff he's done. But, like, that creates a splash. That creates attention. And if you are the Brooklyn Nets, hey, people are talking about you for at least a minute if you're signing JaVale McGee. Versus if you are getting the contract for Derek Williams, no one's going to bat an eye at it. At least JaVale McGee makes you well, look at where he's going this year. We got to keep an eye on him. So, I mean, I think that might be the way to go as far as getting that contract. I really want to ask this question because I really want to go into our options for this. This is another question where we have a few options. We'll try to figure out who's going to be the finals MVP. I think that this is really important to like 8 people. It really doesn't matter to the majority. Like Kevin Durant, I don't think if he doesn't win finals MVP, I don't think he's going to be all that upset. Steph Curry, again, if he doesn't win it, I don't think he's going to be all that upset. They just won a ring. LeBron's won a few of these before. I think he'll be fine. But I wanted to give you the odds, and I kind of want to go over this just out of pure hilarity. First off, there are 2 guys playing in this series who have won a Finals MVP before, and that is LeBron James, who his odds are 2-1. 2-1 odds that if the Cavs win, he's winning MVP most likely. The other person who is a Finals MVP in the past is Andre Iguodala, and his odds are 300-1.
Who most people probably wouldn't have guessed as the former Finals MVP of the people that are in the series, right? Like you wouldn't have thought, oh yeah, Andre Iguodala.
Right. So a lot of the bigger names, it kind of makes sense. You have Durant is 7-5, Curry 8-5, and it's obviously weighted if the Warriors are going to win. That's kind of where it's going to go. Draymond's 17-2, Kyrie's 10-1, Kevin Love's 15-1, Klay Thompson's 25-1. So maybe if he gets hot, that'd be kind of like big bet there. Some of the ones that make me really laugh are you have a lot of the guys like Darren Williams, Iman Shumpert, Channing Frye, Patrick McCaw, just role players are all 500-1. And then there's the field is also 500-1. And then JaVale McGee and Zaza Pachulia are 1,000-1. They have worse odds than the field.
I might put $1 on it just because. Just JaVale McGee, just because. Why not?
If one of the answers is I don't know anyone else, and you're worse than that answer, what is going on? I mean, seriously,
that's the guy who's gonna get the big contract this summer.
Ian
that
Clark,
guy who's below the anybody on either team, and then JaVale McGee.
Ian Clark has double the odds. Matt Barnes has double the odds. Like, that's just so weird. I can't even. It doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make sense. Anyways, regardless of all of these odds, who's winning MVP?
In my opinion, we'll go. So what I'll do is I'll give you my MVP and then I'll give you my prediction, and then we can dive deeper into those. But in my opinion, Kevin Durant will be the MVP, and the Warriors will win in 5.
All right.
We can expand on this later, but my MVP is Durant, Warriors in 5.
My MVP is LeBron James, and I'm putting Cavs in 6.
Which is so funny because preseason I picked the Cavs to win, and you picked the Warriors to win.
Right on the money. Right on the money. Right. It's weird. We have a couple more things to get to, and how these guys are going to play is a big part of how their teammates are going to do as well.
Right.
The reason I think that LeBron has such a good chance is because you put the question down. Does Kyrie prove a point to Steph again? Like, Kyrie had the dagger 3 with Steph Curry, and LeBron set him up. LeBron also iced that game.
They wanted Steph. That was the thing. He's like,
right.
Any opportunity they could, they got Steph in a pick and roll to get Kyrie with the ball in his hands against Steph.
Mm-hmm. As much as I think, again, we've talked about how Kyrie is now fighting for best point guard in the league. It's LeBron that puts him up there. LeBron raises his level, and that's how I think this series is going to go. I think it's just going to be LeBron trying to prove himself the greatest player of all time, and that's what's going to be with Kyrie on Steph. Now, the matchups of how this works out, especially when we go small ball. I mean, we have the question is, will the Warriors small ball be too much for Cleveland? Man, you'd think so, right?
You would.
Right, and so I mean, the lineup you are looking at is Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, all guys who are all NBA guys. Klay Thompson not this year, but I mean has been in the past. They're all stars. They're all phenomenal players, just phenomenal players, and some of them on both sides of the ball. And adding to that, you have just a gamer in Andre Iguodala, guy who is now he's not at the peak of his health right now. He played something like 50 minutes in the last series. I think they may have been saving him up.
You could put Livingston in there in that role.
Oh, yeah.
You could have him third guy out there because he's a 6'7" wing guy who can cover a lot of different areas.
I mean, when you're looking at a lineup like that, the only way to get through it is by having the best player on the court. Right. That's the only way to even survive it, is having the best player on the court. And that's why I think, it's got to be LeBron James. If the Cavs are going to do anything, it has to be LeBron. He has to be able to take over the game.
I mean, and they can counter with Kyrie, Shumpert, Smith, LeBron, Thompson to match that lineup. I don't know how much we had of that during the regular season. So and the Warriors have played a little more of that small ball. But the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm like, you know what? Cavs can match up.
Yeah.
Even if you take out Shumpert, say it's Korver, then you get really what you want with LeBron. So this, again, I'm going to backtrack here a little bit, but LeBron sees that and sees, what do I like to do the most? Attack the rim. If Pachulia and JaVale McGee are no longer on the floor,
right,
I have shooters surrounding me. I have all kinds of space and no one to really protect the rim that I respect.
Right.
Because he's going to go right at Draymond and not think anything about it. Because he's 6'7". Yeah, he can defend that half circle, but he doesn't see 7 foot with 7'4" wingspan standing in the center. So that's where I'm like, you know what? Do the Warriors really want to kind of get Kevin Love off the floor to space things to go small? And I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know that you really want to do that, because if you get one of those bigs off the floor, you invite LeBron to attack, which is what he wants to do. And
the great part of the Warriors,
I'm picking Warriors in 5, right? But at the same time, I'm kind of talking myself into, I don't know.
Well, maybe and even I'm on the other side of it because you're looking at who you're going to match up against LeBron James. You have Draymond Green, who is fighting for Defensive Player of the Year every year. You have right now Kevin Durant, who is going to be an all-defensive player. He's playing better defense than he's ever played. And you have Andre Iguodala, all three guys who can match up with LeBron James. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to beat them, but they are going to give him a much harder time than anyone in the Celtics series gave him. Just about anyone gave him in the Raptors series. And so you're looking at three great guys who all can cover him. And so they all, it doesn't have to, like if it was the Spurs, it's Kawhi, and then Kawhi has to carry the load on the other side. You know, you have other guys who can take that defensive matchup. And when you have Durant getting bullied down there, you still have Steph, Clay, and Draymond who can create on the other side. And so, I mean, Draymond not as much as the other two, but I mean, you still have Steph Curry. You still have Steph Curry, one of the greatest offensive players of this generation right now. And Klay Thompson, maybe the best shooter of all time. It's still there on the other side. That's what makes the Warriors crazy. And again, you're playing the other side of it, and I am too. Like, that's how insane this series is. There's so much talent both ways. Like we want to be like firm in our decisions, and even now I'm like Cavs and 6 is like, oh my gosh, is it really Cavs and 6? Like, I don't know. Like, it's amazing.
The thing that's so tough is, you know, in the first two rounds of the playoffs, the Cavs basically ignored Patrick Patterson and say, hey, good luck, shoot it. You know, they ignored Al Horford and, you know, Marcus Smart and Jay Crowder and said, all right, good luck, go ahead. The problem you're creating when you walk into the series of the Warriors is you can't ignore anyone on the offensive side. Like last year, the plan was, hey, let Harrison Barnes and let Andre Iguodala do their thing.
Right.
Well, that guy's now replaced with Kevin Durant.
Right.
So good luck.
And I mean, you the one guy that you would have, all right, well, we'll let Draymond shoot. Draymond's been hot this whole playoffs. Like, he's been amazing this playoffs. Now Iggy's been, like, again, not healthy, not playing a lot of minutes, not in his rhythm, shooting like 11% from three. And that will definitely be the guy who is, all right, well, let's let him shoot. But I mean, Draymond's been phenomenal. You can't just let him be the one who's off the hook. Like, he's shooting 47% from three in the playoffs. Yeah. That's amazing. That's all you want from Draymond Green. And so when you have that on the outside, it just looks so tough. I mean,
so here's the question then.
Crazy.
So you said Cavs in 6. How do you see these 6 games playing out game by game?
I think the Cavs are going to take game 1. Okay. I think it's going to be the surprise, grab the first game. That's what happened with the Spurs series. That, you know, they had a lot of time off and they just got shell shocked right from the get-go. And those adjustments don't happen nearly as quickly with Mike Brown as they would with Steve Kerr. And I think that's one of the things where Mike Brown takes you down a notch. They're going to lose. I think they're going to lose game 1. I think that the Warriors will probably take 2 and 3 or 2 and 4, and the Cavs get the rest. The Cavs win it. I mean, they'll have the deciding game at home for 6. Okay. And so really what I think would work out the best way is, like, it's probably going to be a 2-1 Warriors lead. Cavs are going to get 4 to tie it up, take that momentum into 5. Now, you don't have the game 5 Draymond list, because Draymond only has 2 technicals this entire playoffs. So, like,
good for him.
There's no baiting him into being suspended in game 5. Nope. He has left everybody's Sam Cassell's alone.
So far,
yeah. So far. Now it's the finals. Anything's game.
He's given himself enough room to mess with some people, Sam Cassell's.
Yes,
if he needs at this point.
So, that's what I'm thinking with the Cavs.
Opposite route.
Yeah,
obviously the Warriors, but I do think the Cavs will take game 1. And what have we talked about? Game 1s really don't matter, right? Like, they do, but they don't. So I think Cavs, and then they start to feel themselves a little bit, and like, okay. All right, we've won here before. We've won here 2 times in a row now. It's fine. This is fine. This is super easy. Well, I guess they lost in the regular season there, but this is fine. We got this. And then I think the Warriors just go on full Anton Chigurh mode from No Country for Old Men and just walk through the Cavs 4 straight games. And I think it's going to be ugly. And I think we're going to see a lot. Like, you know when LeBron gets mad, he gives that like hands, like the palms up.
Yeah.
And it's usually a Tristan Thompson. I think we're going to see a lot of palms up, LeBron angry at Tristan Thompson face throughout this NBA Finals.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Cavs take the first one. People are starting to say, is LeBron the best? Is this Warriors team not good enough? Do they not have enough firepower?
Did Kevin Durant make the wrong decision?
Right. And then I think the narrative the rest of the time is, oh yeah, these guys are as good as we thought they were. Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to be a slamming of the door. I think there might even be a 25-point drubbing in there to really just hammer home how good this Warriors team is. And I'm going to hate it.
Ridiculous hypothetical, and I just want the one-word answer. If LeBron does beat this team, beat the Warriors, and wins his fourth ring, are you ready to have the LeBron MJ conversation? Are you ready to start the conversation?
Yeah, we talked about this. So yes, we talked about this last podcast. Am I ready to? If they win, I'm ready to have the discussion.
Okay.
So I was actually watching this afternoon 93 game highlights, Bulls, Suns, and it's like 10 minutes of like Michael Jordan's every basket. Yeah, he averaged 42 points a game over 6 games in the NBA Finals.
He's amazing.
I'm ready to have the discussion, but man, we can have this after the finals.
Yep.
But
and everyone's having it now,
regardless of what
and
happens,
it doesn't matter.
Right, yeah.
It doesn't matter. We'll get to that later. Right now, we want to get to one of our favorite things. I mean, it's your favorite. It's my favorite. It's a fan favorite. Dan, hit it up.
You know what time it is. It's my favorite time. It's your favorite time. It is Keeping Up with Kristaps.
Yes.
That's right. Yes. So we talked a little bit about last week. He snubbed his exit interview with New York. Things are not going well in New York right now. But you know what's going well? Kristaps Porzingis' ability to move his hands quickly. I'm talking Ali. I'm talking Sugar Ray Leonard. I'm talking all of the greats. But he, during this offseason, has decided to go full-on Ivan Drago, Rocky IV.
It's amazing.
And what he's doing this offseason is he's boxing to get himself into shape. And I don't know if you've ever seen boxers, but those guys are jacked.
Oh,
and I am so pumped to see what Kristaps Porzingis comes back with as far as a physique to start next season. And there's some pictures of him on his Instagram posting of him actually doing his boxing training. And like he's got that sweaty hair flopping. You know, he pushes it up. Yeah. It's like the Ivan Drago from like toward the end of that fight with Rocky where it starts like flop forward so you don't have it pushed back. He looks exactly like Ivan Drago. Like it's sweating forward. We don't have that pushed back look. He's throwing like a massive right hook. I can't wait for Kristaps to get back in the league. I can't wait for people to provoke him, and I can't wait for him to just uppercut somebody for getting in Kristaps' face. So that was Keeping Up with Kristaps. Back to you, Chuck.
Hey, living in New York, it's a tough town. You got to be able to put them up. You got to be able to have them there. Gyro, earlier we talked about these deli shoes. Were you able to find a picture of these?
Yeah.
The peak shoes. Do you want to pull them up on the screen right now? I want to talk to Dan. Or did you already pull it up earlier? See, I didn't get to see it.
Yep.
Can we pull it back up? Just I want to go back to this real quick.
Okay.
We can do it later. It doesn't matter. So Dan, the shoes are like these low tops. First off, long lace. The shoes. They have the deli logo on the top, and then there's the green and yellow Australian colors, which I have to say is kind of weird because I've seen their flag. It's red, white, and blue. There's no green. There's no yellow.
But their basketball uniforms are that.
I know. It's so weird. Clearly, these are going to be the shoes of the Australian national team from here on out. I mean, they have to be, right?
They have to.
Unless they're sponsored.
I'm a little upset that not more of the Australian players in the league had done it. Like just said, "Hey, I'm wearing these shoes too." Like Bogut for the small amount of time he was playing, putting on the deli shoes. Patty Mills not wearing the deli shoes.
Kyrie, get Kyrie in those. I mean, he was born there. I mean, he's not Australian.
That's right. Get Kyrie in the delis. Get Dante Exum in the delis. Guys, support your fellow Australian.
Aaron Baines.
The shoes.
Joe Ingles. How many other ones can we name?
Stop now. Stop.
Is that it? Is that all?
Now.
Is that all? I think we've listed them all. We've hit the end of our show, and we love to have a little bit of fun at the end as well. We have fun in the middle. We have fun at the beginning. We end it with a little fun as well. We're going to play 2 different games. The first one is one of our favorite games. It is the nickname game.
Oh, yeah.
What's going to happen is Jeremy has picked out... Jeremy, wow, that's so
that
weird.
That is my name.
Never call you Jeremy
that's
on this
my
thing.
name.
Gyro has picked out...
They call me the office now.
now they know where to find us.
Oh, no.
No, Jeremy has picked out a basketball player with a fun, unique nickname. Dan and I are going to try and figure out who this player is. We will count to 3, say the name at the same time. Hopefully one of us gets it right. If not, Dover's going to give us a hint and then another hint until we get it eventually. So, Gyro, are you ready? The nickname is...
And if you're listening, you can play along at home.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The nickname is Big Honey.
Big Honey. Oh, man. Well, I know... Okay. There's... I don't know.
All right, questions. Big Honey.
I have... All right, I have mine.
I'll go for it. I got one.
Wait, ready? 3, 2, 1.
Spencer
Channing
Hawes.
Nope.
Not Channing Frye, not Spencer Hawes.
Nope. Hint number 1. This player was he was on the all-rookie team in 15-16.
15-16 all-rookie team. Oh boy, here we go. Oh, that was not a good class.
Gosh, I don't even remember who the top rookies were from a year ago. Oh,
I know. Right? Well, here's the thing: is they did not do well.
No, they didn't.
And this one did not. All right.
Sure.
I have a guess. Go ahead.
3, 2, 1.
D'Angelo Russell?
Arlo? I don't even know. I don't even know
Did you not say a name?
I don't even remember who else was drafted in this. Jaylen Brown.
There it is. And? Another hint, please?
Last hint.
Rookie this year. He wasn't even...
You were in the wrong class. I wasn't going to say it, but it's fine.
I'm embarrassed.
This player is a big jokester.
A big jokester. Ah!
God, you were way on with D'Angelo Russell because he is a jokester.
Dang it. All right, I'm on it.
3, 2...
No, hold on. Dan, do you have one?
Okay,
I don't even remember who else was drafted.
I think Charlie gets
class.
this one.
Okay, I have the answer. I know the answer.
The answer. 3,
just say
2,
it. Embarrassed.
1.
It's Nikola Jokic.
It
the
is.
jokester, the Nikola Jokic. That's what I gave it.
Yeah.
Yes.
His other nickname is Joker, and also Jokic. So
he's a joker.
And he's a big.
He's a midnight toker, from what I've heard.
Yeah, his name is Big Honey.
Yeah, that was a bad draft class. I don't blame you at all. That's not your fault. It's okay. It's all right. We'll get past it. Another game that we like to play is If It Hits, I'm a Genius. We send out our bold predictions and see what hits. If it does, we can deem ourselves geniuses. Dover has been a genius once before. I have as well. Dan is still getting there. Last week, we had our If It Hits. Dan, you thought that Kyrie would do another backboard lob in the Eastern Conference Finals. It didn't happen in the first 5 minutes of that game. It didn't happen. That's okay.
They did come out with a full-on onslaught like they did against the Raptors, but
yeah, it was a metaphorical backboard lob, but
right.
It didn't actually happen. I thought that Dejounte Murray was gonna play better than any rookie point guard has ever played in a Western Conference Finals, and lo and behold, that did not happen. Big surprise there. Dover, you just put Manu down.
I think I said he was gonna get multiple double-doubles.
Oh yeah, that's right. You said more than one double-doubles.
He did not do that.
He didn't do that. Though he played really well.
He did play really well.
I think we're all really proud of Manu Ginobili. I really hope he comes back. I mean, I don't know. I want him to enjoy his life, but I really want him to come back. Our If It Hits for this week, for this finals series, Dan, what is your prediction?
So I have, like I said before, I think Kevin Durant will be the finals MVP. And I'm going to say exactly the amount of points he will average during this series at 32.4 points per game over 5 games.
I'm going to give you I'm going to give you a range of plus or minus 0.4.
No, because I just want to be a genius, spot on. I don't want any range. I want to say 32.4.
Hold on.
That's it. We can do some numbers behind it, like 32.41683 repeating if we want to, but it's going to be 32.4 is my guess.
I want to do some, hold on, 32.4 times, and you said it was 5 games. All right, 162 is a whole number, so that it works out. If he gets 162 and it's 5 games, then we know. This is another reason that I think the Cavs might take it. I think that one of the offensive threats for the Warriors is going to go cold. Klay Thompson, I just have this horrible feeling in my stomach. And again, it's not like I'm trying to – this is my favorite player. I think that Klay Thompson doesn't hit 10 or more points more than twice. I think there are 2 games where he gets double digits. That's it. I think he goes cold. That's just my opinion.
That is bold.
Yes.
I'll allow it. I'll allow that.
And that, I mean, if that happens, you got the Cavs have a great chance.
Yes.
Dover, what's going on?
I think throughout the whole finals, the Cavs are going to have a better 3-point percentage than the Warriors are.
I don't think that that's bold enough.
Really? Come
I think.
on.
Are you kidding? Look at who the Cavs have shooting 3-pointers. You have Kyrie, you have LeBron, you have Kevin Love, you have Channing Frye, you have Kyle Korver, you have J.R. Smith. Like, they have a lot of really good 3-point shooters.
But
the fact
Warriors,
that they would do better isn't a huge. Like, I mean, look, I'm just saying that is not bold enough.
By goodness, you want to
give me a percentage point
by 5 percentage points.
By 5%. Dan, what do you think? They will.
I appreciate that you pushed him a little further.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right.
5 percentage points.
5 percentage points better 3-point shooting.
Okay.
All right, we'll take it there. Yeah. Thank you, Dover. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, everybody, for listening, watching, and all that you do. We are all over the place. iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud. Please share and please rate and review. All of that stuff is excellent for us. Really helps us out. Gets more people to be able to see us if you do all that great stuff. It's really awesome. If you want to get a hold of us, you can find us on Twitter. We're at hack_chat. If you want to shoot us an email, hackachatcast@gmail.com. Shoot that over to us, and we'll be able to communicate with you guys, see what you guys are thinking. Send us your bold predictions for the finals as well. If you get it right, we'll talk about it on the show. We want to give a shout out to Kid Runner for giving us this music that we use. It's awesome, different kind of love. Give me something to love. Their EP, Body Language, is on Apple Music. It's on Spotify. Go check them out. They are awesome. That's everything that we've got for you. Please make sure that you keep up with all that stuff that we have.
We didn't get to Latrell Sprewell, who was a former Golden State Warrior, so I thought this would fit really well into our finals preview. We've got time, right?
When did Latrell Sprewell did he play in the finals?
He did. It was not with the Warriors, but he did play in the finals with Jeff Van Gundy.
Yeah,
I was going to talk more about his time in the finals. Starting in Golden State, moving on to being with Jeff Van Gundy and playing with the Knicks. Can we talk?
This is a really long show. We had the big fan final Zally going out here. The summer's coming up soon. We'll have some free time then.
Yeah. Can we do it?
We'll do it in the summer. How's that sound?
Next time.
Next time will be great.
Awesome.
We'll hit Latrell Sprewell eventually. Until then, be good to one another. Drive safe. You know the deal. I want you to ball out. You have the chick, I have the duck. See, Chandler Bing, he has the duck, and you have the chicken. Chicken, duck. They both work. We did it.